If you have cell phones, to turn them off or to put them on vibrate, please. This time we'll call to order the June meeting of Carnegie Borough Council, and we'll start with a moment of silence, please. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please, Chief.
Councilwoman Cody.
Present.
Councilman Veras.
Here.
Councilwoman Demko.
Here.
Councilman Katina.
Here.
Councilman Sarsfield.
Here.
President Velas.
Here.
Mayor Kavistik.
Here.
All present.
At this time, if there's anyone who has comments to make regarding motions that are listed on the agenda, this is your opportunity to do so before we proceed with those motions. There were copies of the agenda at the door. If you have any comments to make on those agenda items, you can do so now. Being none, we'll proceed. We'll start with the Administration and Finance. Councilman Katina, please.
Motion to approve the minutes of the council meeting on May 14th, 2012.
Second.
Comments? Roll call vote, please, Chief.
Councilwoman Cody.
Yes.
Councilman Veras.
Yes.
Councilwoman Demko.
Yes.
Councilman Katina.
Yes.
Councilman Sarsfield.
Yes.
President Velas.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve the June bill list and addendum.
Second. Comments?
Mr. President, the comment that I would like to make is that after attending the library board meeting on May 30th, we actually cut a check to the library in the amount of $5,500 to earmark our funding that we normally give to the library for to specifically support children's programs this summer, to ensure those programs are basically kept intact and that we wouldn't possibly lose that this summer. And I just wanted to clarify that. So that check has been cut and given to Aaron. So.
Thank you.
Mr. President, may I piggyback on that comment?
Yes.
One of the programs that they will be sponsoring is the Math for You program. And it's a program that prepares children for math before they get into kindergarten. And it's a very successful program. They keep very stringent metrics on it. And the metrics actually demonstrate that this program has shown to be very outstanding for the kids when they go into school. So.
Thank you. Any other comments on the bill list? Chief, roll call, please.
Councilman Veras.
Yes.
Councilwoman Demko.
Yes.
Councilman Katina.
Yes.
Councilman Sarsfield. Yes. Councilwoman Cody.
Yes.
President Velas.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve Resolution 2012-10, a resolution of the Borough of Carnegie confirming the Borough of Carnegie has submitted a Community Development Block Grant application through the Shar West COG to the Allegheny County Department of Economic Development in the amount of $7,000 for the installation of automatic doors for the municipal building.
Second.
Handicap doors, basically.
Second.
Comments?
Mr. President, the only comment that I would like to make is that for a number of years Councilman Sarsfield and I have questioned why when this building was built, why we didn't have handicapped accessibility when it was a relatively new building in the past 10 years. You would think that that would be something first and foremost in everyone's mind, but unfortunately it wasn't. So that's why we're trying to apply to get CDBG money to try to make the building as handicapped accessible as possible.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I just want to say thank you.
Does this require roll call, Chief?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Councilwoman Demko.
Yes.
Councilman Katina.
Yes.
Councilman Sarsfield. Yes. Councilwoman Kobe.
Yes.
Councilman Veras.
Yes.
President Velaz.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to approve Resolution 2012-11, a resolution of the Borough of Carnegie confirming that the Borough of Carnegie has submitted a community development block grant application through the Char West COG to the Allegheny County Department of Economic Development in the amount of $15,000 for the demolition of structures located at 509 Anthony Street and 508 Dawson Street.
Second.
Comments?
Yes. These two structures here, Mr. President and audience, is the annual monies that we receive to do the demos. And we're able to do 2 this year, but as the audience will see and our residents will see, there will be continued demolitions because of the bond. These 2 are specific off the monies we receive annually to do demolitions.
Thank you. Any other comments? Chief, roll call.
Councilwoman Kobe.
Yes.
Councilman Veras.
Yes.
Councilwoman Demko.
Yes.
Councilman Katina.
Yes.
Councilman Sarsfield.
Yes.
President Velaz.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to offer part-time seasonal health employment to Justin Dean at a pay rate of $9 per hour, pending successful results of a physical examination or drug alcohol screen.
Second.
Comments? Chief, roll call, please.
Councilman Veras.
Yes.
Councilwoman Demko.
Yes.
Councilman Katina.
Yes.
Councilman Sarsfield.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kobe.
Yes.
President Velaz.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to offer part-time seasonal health employment to Dennis Lawrence Jr. at a pay rate of $9 per hour, pending successful results of a physical examination and drug alcohol screen.
Second.
Comments? Roll call, Chief.
Councilwoman Demko.
Yes.
Councilman Katina.
Yes.
Councilman Sarsfield.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kobe.
Yes.
Councilman Veras.
Yes.
President Velaz.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to accept the bid amount made submitted by Poplar Properties LP in the amount of $18,763 for the purchase of borough-owned property at 415 and 417 Elk Avenue.
Second. Comments?
Just that this property has been utilized by us for some parking, but the borough does have several spaces directly along Elk Avenue. So for us to sell this property isn't going to put a strain on us for parking, but the monies coming in will help maintain the lots that we do have and perhaps obtain property elsewhere to create additional parking for the borough. And it will be very helpful to this business owner and the people that are in his building.
Any other comments?
Just a quick comment. I do want to thank Ms. Kobe for being persistent with this, because I think the business owner was getting a little anxious. So thank you, Ms. Kobe.
You're welcome, Mayor. Thank you.
The business that's being referred to is the
ST.
owner of the Elks Club, the former Elks Club, and he has a software business in there now, and he needed a place for his employees to park, and so he was interested in that vacant lot.
And also his client, which is STA, which is our school buses. So.
If there's no other comments, roll call.
Councilman Katina.
Yes.
Councilman Sarsfield.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kobe.
Yes.
Councilman Veras.
Yes.
Councilwoman Demko.
Yes.
President Velaz.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Code enforcement motions, we don't have any this evening, so we'll proceed then to Public Works. Councilman Demko, please.
Motion to approve pay application number 7 and final to Independent Enterprises in the amount of $16,799.55 for the 2011 sanitary sewer point repair project.
Second.
Comments? Roll call, Chief.
Councilman Veras.
Yes.
Councilwoman Demko.
Yes.
Councilman Katina.
Yes.
Councilman Sarsfield.
Yes.
Councilwoman Kobe.
Yes.
President Velaz.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Motion to permit the Carnegie Boys and Girls Club to utilize Chiota Field every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday during the months of September and October from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. and 7th Avenue Field every Saturday during the months of September and October from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. for their flag football league.
Second.
Comments?
Again, last month I commented, and this month I'm correct, this is for the Boys and Girls Club flag football, and again, it's a fantastic program. It's connected directly with the NFL, and Lou Trombetta does a tremendous job with it. The attendance, and just it's enjoyable to watch these kids compete, and it's just a great program and helps stimulate our young people.
No other comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Public safety motions, Councilman Sarsfield, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have one motion this evening, and it's motion A. It's a motion to adopt Borough Ordinance number 2375, an ordinance of the Borough of Carnegie, terminating the Carnegie Parking Authority.
Second.
Comments? Being none, roll call, Chief.
Councilwoman Kobe,
Yes.
Councilman Veras,
Yes.
Councilwoman Demko,
Yes.
Councilman Katina,
Yes.
Councilman Sarsfield,
Yes.
President Delos.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Community development motions, Councilman Veras, please.
Have one motion this evening. Motion to advertise Borough Ordinance number 2376 with necessary amendments. An ordinance of the Borough of Carnegie amending ordinance number 2352 establishing a shade tree commission.
Second.
Comments? Being none, roll call, Chief.
Councilwoman Demko,
Yes.
Councilman Katina,
Yes.
Councilman Sarsfield,
Yes.
Councilwoman Kobe,
Yes.
Councilman Veras,
Yes.
President Delos.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Committee reports, we'll start with Councilman Katina, please.
Under Administration and Finance, Mr. President, I'd like to report that we're running about 5% better than expected for revenue compared to expense so far for this year. You've heard me say this before, a few months don't make or break a year, so we'll see what happens with tax revenue real estate tax revenue ought to be coming in within the next month, 30 to 60 days. So we'll obviously see a big influx with revenue when those start to hit, and that will continue all the way through typically the end of the month, October, and then it sort of trails off. So right now, from what I'm seeing, pending no surprises, is that we'll probably have a surplus at the end of this year. All right, I should say I hope to have a surplus at the end of this year, but we'll see how the current trend continues, but right now it does look good.
Anything else?
That's it, Mr. President.
Thank you. Councilwoman Kobe, anything?
No, we have nothing because, as you can see, my partner in crime by his tan here was on vacation, so we'll try to have a big report next month, okay?
It is that time of year. Councilwoman Demko, please, Public Works Committee.
Just a couple things, that the road paving is completed. They're just, Keith, those sealing. So then all the roads are done, right? And the salt shed will be finished by next week. That's it.
Okay. Thank you. Councilman Sarsfield, please, Public Safety.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just want to remind everybody this Saturday, June 16th, from 11 to 2, is our third annual Public Safety Day. Life Flight will be here. A new addition this year, we will have the 911 mobile center for children. It teaches them how to dial 911 and questions to be answered, which is a nice addition. Along with our fire department and police department, our K9 DAX, we do demonstrations. So it's a fun event, plenty of food. I think the weather's going to be cooperative with us, so I hope to see all of you there. And Mr. President, I just want to mention under the Shade Tree Commission, along the Historical Society, We just planted some sunflowers there, and that was part of a $6,000 grant that was received from Pan American Water on stormwater management. And next month, members of the Shade Tree Commission and Pan American Water will be here to do, even though the money is already received, they'll do a public presentation at next month's meeting.
Is that entire lot going to be a storm garden?
No, just right next to the Historical Society. They'll put in rain barrels, and they'll keep track of how much water is taken off of the roof. So,
Okay, thank you. Anything else?
no, that's it.
Community Development, Councilman Veras, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. About a week ago, we had a business mixer which was held over at 3rd Street Gallery by Phil Savato, and it was hosted by the CCDC, Carnegie Community Development Corporation. And the purpose of the meeting was to talk about future events, festivals, or any type of activities here in Carnegie. It was attended by council, the mayor, and our borough manager. A lot of suggestions came out of that meeting as to what we want to see for the next year or 2 years down the road as to what type of events we want to have. In conjunction with that, we're going to have a follow-up meeting on June the 18th at 7 p.m. here at the Borough Building. That's this coming Monday. And we're going to be making that a town hall meeting, and I'll read, there's a sheet over there in the hallway, and I'll read right from it. It's a town hall meeting on Monday, June 18th, 2012 at 7 p.m. The Borough of Carnegie, in conjunction with the Carnegie Community Development Corporation of Allegheny together, will be hosting a town hall meeting to begin the process of developing a comprehensive plan for future community activities and events. We want to hear from the residents about what type of activities, events, festivals, etc. they would like to see throughout the year. And more importantly, identify residents who want to take an active role in the planning and execution of these events. In other words, they're going to be also looking for volunteers. The downtown Carnegie Business District is a natural venue conducive to hosting a wide variety of activities, events, and festivals. Help us to capitalize on the huge potential by attending this meeting and offering your suggestions and volunteering your time to make it happen. One of the reasons why we're not having a festival this year is we couldn't come up with enough volunteers to work the 3 or 4 days for the festival. So we have a full year in front of us to try to correct that problem. But this town hall meeting for residents, I think it's going to be very important because a lot of our volunteers do come from residents. So if you have a chance, please come to the meeting here next Monday night.
Thank you, Councilman. I have just a couple of comments for this evening. We are starting summer. It is that time of the year. And I hope all of you are getting your summers off to a good start. Kids are out of school. We need to be careful when we're driving around. There's a lot of kids playing out on the street. So let's be careful about that. Also for us, we look at this point in the season and we look at what we've accomplished up to this point in the year. Last year we passed a bond motion to borrow money at a very attractive rate, of course, as you know. And that money is to be used for demolitions and road pavings and other community projects. And a significant part of that work has been done now. Part of it is the salt shed that is underway being built. The roads have been paved. We have demolitions yet to be done, as Councilman Sarsfield mentioned. We have a Morrow Avenue Bridge that has to be repaired. So there are still things yet to do, but we've had a very busy first 5 months of the year, been very successful. So we're very happy about where we are at this point. And especially considering, as Councilman Katina said, we're still positive on the budget. So we're looking forward to a good summer, and we hope you're going to have a good summer too. 4th of July is coming up before our next council meeting already. Fireworks will be also, as they have been in past years, on July the 3rd, the evening before the 4th of July at Carnegie Park. So as usual, you're expecting to see them on the evening before the 4th of July, and that's what we will be doing again this year, so we're hoping that you'll all be there. At this point, do we have anyone here from the fire department? And then we'll move on to the mayor's report. Mayor?
Thank you, Mr. President. For this month, we've had criminal arrests and citations that numbered 67, traffic citations 61, parking tickets 123, complaints and self-initiated activity from our police department at 959. I want to alert everybody to a recent incident we had where 5 establishments on East Main Street and Washington Avenue had a small section of copper pipe removed from their air conditioning units. I mean, this crime was so petty, it actually makes me sick, because what they can get for that small section of copper pipe is very minuscule, but the damage they do to the air conditioning unit is severe. So that we had five places that had to file insurance claims. Some of them even had to have their whole unit replaced because they didn't realize that the pipe was missing for a while. But this is what happens, I guess, when you have people needing to feed a drug habit. It's just an assumption, but it sure sounds that way. So when you're out there, keep an eye. If you see people on public property or private property and they shouldn't be there, call 911 immediately, even if you're just driving by. Pull over, pick up that cell phone and call us. I really want to thank the mayor and council of Roslyn Farms for their opportunity to bid on servicing their law enforcement needs. We're sorry we didn't get that, but I really want to commend them on an extremely open and fair process. To help encourage students to read this summer, the Carnegie Police Department is rolling out the Bowling for Books program. The Carnegie Police Department will offer passes for 3 free bowling games to any student readers this summer. How the program works is basically like this. Stop a police officer. When you see him, tell him what book you've read, and he'll be carrying passes on him for 3 bowling games, 3 free bowling games, and he'll present you with the pass. So we hope that we can encourage some reading this summer. I want to thank Borough of America and Standard Ceramics for providing a tour of their facility to the Carnegie Elementary 6th graders. In fact, we have one of the people from Borough of America sitting here right now. It's Shannon Fox. Thank you very much. Just a little background on these 2 businesses in Carnegie. This is their North American headquarters. They are the world leader in servicing and maintaining cutting instruments for everything from the aerospace to automotive industry to the lumber industry. They have a very high-tech design on sharpening these instruments, and they have machines down at their facility that actually demonstrates this. So it was a very interesting day for the children. And Standard Ceramics, they are the largest East Coast provider of clay, manufacturing clay for potters. And that too is right here in Carnegie. So that was a very interesting touring their facility on how they showed you how they actually make the big bricks of clay. And some of the kids actually got to load the bricks of clay and package them for distribution. I really want to thank Northwest Savings Banks for sponsoring our career lunch program this year. We did 9 career lunches throughout the year. We had everything from the business tour to life flight attending to DAX from our police department and the EMS. It was a very nice year for career lunches, so I thank Northwest Savings Banks for their sponsorship. Appreciate that. I do want to talk one quick note. On Monday evening, we had a lady come to our workshop meeting and talk a little bit about a skate park that they are developing, and they are looking for a community to donate the skate park in. Right now they've narrowed it down to 3 communities, Mount Lebanon, Carnegie, and Scott Township. They're going to each community presenting their skate park idea, and what they're looking for is any community that really wants to get behind this and that has the facilities that they would be very interested in. It's a beautiful skate park. It's about a $600,000 gift they're looking for. They would like the community to help in raising 15% of it, so that there's community involvement. Currently, right now, we are checking into liability issues to see what that would entail, and whether or not our borough would be able to support this. But I think it's something that would be very welcome from a lot of our students here. And Leo, they're looking to donate it, so it's not even our money. So that's a good thing. I want to, the 3rd Street Gallery will be having a jazz concert on June 17th, 3 p.m. And Cool Breeze will be there. And if you've ever had a chance to watch a jazz concert down at the 3rd Street Gallery, it's a real nice venue for this type of music. So if you get the chance, stop down there. It's only $10 at the door, and you can bring your own bottle. And lastly, we're into the summer, as President DeLoss had mentioned, and there's a couple things I'd like to remind everybody. One is I want to congratulate the class of 2012. And I do want to remind all those parents who will be having picnics and having parties for their children that they are responsible to make sure that the teenagers at those parties do not consume alcohol. And so we want to make sure that this is a good time of year for everybody. So remember that these graduation parties can be very dangerous if they're handled wrong. And the last thing is, being that this is summer, there's a lot of students off this summer. Meals on Wheels and the Salvation Army are 2 fantastic organizations that are always looking for volunteers. And I'm sure they'd be more than happy if responsible students would step forward and volunteer for the summer. So if you need volunteer hours, we have 2 great organizations that are always looking for volunteers. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor. At this point, we'll open the floor to comments from anyone who would care to make them. Please step forward up to the microphone, please, and tell us your name and where you live, and tell us what you think.
My name is Basil. I'm sure everybody knows me. I live on California Avenue. Carol's my neighbor. My property, I keep it immaculate, and I always have a beautiful garden, vegetable garden. About 4 days ago, I went back to the garden, and everything is dead, burnt, poisoned. No fault. I'm not saying that it was intentional. It's not that. They sprayed behind my hedgerow. And when they did that, the fumes or whatever vapors went in and killed everything in my garden. Everything. I got 4 months. I started the end of August preparing my garden for winter. March, April, May. I want to be treated fairly on that. And to me, fairly, I want $1,000 for my labor. Forget the products, they're nothing. But I got 4 months in there. Carol knows how I keep my place. It's spotless. There's not a weed in my yard. It's probably the nicest property on the street. And I'd like to have an answer, or when I'll get an answer on that.
Well, we would have to talk with the Public Works Department to find out their perspective on what happened.
Okay.
So
fine.
we would need to do that first.
Okay.
I understand that there was spraying in the vicinity, but not near the property. And so we need to find out. We need to talk with the guys that actually did the spraying.
What they did, they sprayed the alley behind my hedgerow. My garden's on this side, the hedgerow's here. What they did was, I know it was unintentional. You understand? They're spraying, and if you look, if anybody comes up there, you'll see that it's sprayed high. They're trying to get rid of the, I guess, the ivy and whatever else is, in there. I'm saying it's not intentional. It's just the idea. I do put a lot of time in that.
Well, let us talk with the guys that did the spraying first.
Okay.
Get their ideas, and then we'll get back with you. You can meet with us and meet with them, and we can discuss it further.
That's good.
Thank you, Basil.
Okay, the second thing is the business tax, business privilege. I've been on welfare for 2 years. Welfare. After 54 years in that time. 2 years ago, I went to welfare to keep my utilities on and food. I'm taking in around 100 a week. Okay? I'd like you to take me off, completely off of that. I don't know how many more years I'm going to be there, but I'd like to be exempt from that tax, which is really dreadfully unfair. Dreadfully unfair. I'm starving. And the only reason I'm there is because of the Morettas. Otherwise, I'm not there.
I understand that, but every other business in the community will tell you we have the lowest business tax of any community around
I understand
here.
that. I don't deny that. I am not making, you're talking business privilege tax. I have no business, zero. You can send anybody down here, any day, every day, and count the customers I get. I walk out of there with 0, 2, 3 a day. I'm absolutely, my house is right now in the sheriff's cell, okay? You can check that. I'm fighting now to try to keep the property, which I don't know how. I need a miracle. Okay? Now I'm done with that part. Can I bring these pictures up to somebody?
What are they?
They're pictures of places done. The people at the 300 block asked me to come and talk. Everybody down here has been complaining. For years, I've talked to the mayor a couple of times. I just want you to, I'd like you to look at this. This is beyond belief. Could I bring it up?
Sure.
If you look at this, now this has been here for 30 years. 30. That rug's been there for over 20 years. That's a disgrace to our we have a beautiful time. That's bold. That's bold.
And I think everyone knows these properties. They're the properties across the street.
From Morettas, yeah.
Right.
And down below, I think the chief's wife had that place at one time. That's Kozak. Is that the property owner there, Chief? Okay. That's 3. I mean, my neighbor to the left, he says, I'm trying to rent my place. He says, when they look across the street, they run. That's the neighbor to my left. He's got the whole bottom empty right now. Okay? I mean, it's so, listen, I don't know who the building inspector is. Don't know. I'd fire him. Fire him. He's not doing his job. Not doing his job. That's a disgrace. That is we got a beautiful time here. I'm praying that it comes back because I want to, try to make a living. But that's not right. That guy, he's struggling everybody. He's out there with a scraper. I said to him, what are you doing? He says, I'm taking the old paint off. I says, what? You're taking the old paint off? It's so bizarre. He's stroking everybody here. You're getting away with it. I'd take him into Pittsburgh in front of a judge and say, hey, answer, get off the clock. There's laws for people like that. Laws. He got to face it. I'd do something to him and the other place. That's bull. We don't need that. You could go to Mount Lebanon, Green Tree, I don't care what you do. If they had anything like that, it would last a second. They get rid of it. We don't need that.
Thank you.
That's it.
Mr. President, just one question. How long has that paint been on that building? Has it been a long time?
I think about 20 years back, a friend of mine painted the whole building. But at that time, there was a captain on it. I think.
And the only reason why I ask is because, are we sure that that's not lead paint? And is he using proper remediation for lead paint?
Well, you don't know what he did one day. I seen him out there, and I thought, this guy got to be, there's something wrong with him. He's out there with a scraper that big, and he's scraping his building, and I'm thinking, what the hell are you doing?
If it's lead paint, there's that, you just can't do that with lead paint, so that's a big issue right there.
Look at the steps and look at that there. Now, is that right? That's not right.
No, it's not kept up. The property's not
That's
kept
not
up.
right. The place 307, if you look in there, it looks like a bomb went off. Okay? The fellow that was in the building next to him one day told me, I got a lawyer after you. My building's caving in. Which he showed me. We went in and he showed me what was happening. And then he says, after that, he built a garage back there. A block garage. If you go in the back, you'll see a block garage. But that's ridiculous. We don't need that.
Thank you.
But,
Here's your picture.
If I may, sir? Good evening, council. I believe a few of you recognize me. I've been here before. In the past, I lived up here 4 years ago and lived at 530 Harrison Street on Carnegie. The last couple of weeks, I did try to call the borough manager, but the phone answering service you have here, it sends you right back to admin. And I was trying to get hold of somebody one evening, because when I got home, the gentleman lives at he doesn't live there, he has a structure built there on 532 Harrison Street, George Zawilla of Gorilla Construction. He had a lawn maintenance person out there dumping grass cuttings from other jobs that he has done, as well as mulch. So I contacted the mayor since I couldn't reach anyone else, and he did graciously come out, and I gave him copies of photographs of the area, and he looked at it himself as well, and told me that he would bring it before you gentlemen. There's grass clippings out there which are producing rodents, which they're putting into my yard. And in fact, before I come here this evening, I saw a mouse coming over, and I chased it back. I have rodent base stations out there, which I'm paying for to keep going, to keep the rats out of my yard. He's got mulch being dumped out there by this landscaper, and I know he's a lawn maintenance person. I know this because of my job. I work with the Department of Agriculture, and I stopped this gentleman. I can't give you his information, but I did stop him up in Roslyn Farms because he was illegally applying pesticides. So I know he's a landscaping person. And I've caught him dumping stuff over there for the past couple of weeks, and it's piling up along the fence, and he comes out with a blower. He tries to blow it over on PennDOT's side of the fence, but it's still piling up, which causes a compost pile. There's also bricks and cement and pavement, which has different chemicals, number one, petroleum, spread all over this gentleman's property. He had a permit 3 years ago, I believe it was, to build this property, and at that time, the other town manager who is no longer here said 3 years was the length of a permit to build a house. It's still not built. There's still not walls there. He does have electricity going there, and he does have an address, because I received an electric bill that was supposed to be for him, and I gave it back to the postman and said that goes to that gentleman there. He doesn't have a mailbox out there. There's nobody living there. He's got electric, like I said. And he just keeps piling on. He only pays, if you go on the website for Allegheny County property taxes, he pays $5.98 property tax for the county, because they don't even know there's a facility on the property. They still show them as a vacant lot. But not only does it hamper me, I have some other folks here that live on our street, so you don't think it's just a neighbor versus neighbor issue. And I also have a letter from another lady who lives on Harrison Street who couldn't make it here tonight. And I'll read that shortly. But is he allowed to dump all these grass clippings? Is the landscaper, number one, allowed to bring grass clippings and yard waste from other properties and dump it on this gentleman's property? I'm sure, even though he may have given permission, is that legal in a residential area? Is it legal for me? I mean, would you like to live next door to something like this that produces rodents and they're coming onto your property? I do it and have for the past 4 years, and I'm not a happy camper. I've addressed the council, like I said, in the past several times, and I didn't get any answers on some of the questions I had. And one of them was addressed to the previous solicitor, which dealt with if the abandoned property that we were told at that time was abandoned between George Willis' property and PennDOT's lot, was George Willis legally able to take over the whole thing, or was it supposed to be put up to PennDOT as well as him because they're adjoining property owners? Or was it supposed to be addressed to the neighborhood and see if somebody can buy it? That was never answered to me. I never received anything from the council on any of the questions that I've brought up before in the past. How long is the permit for in that when you're building a house in the borough?
I think Terry would have
The permit right now, Terry, you said that the state has extended permits, was that correct? Building permits?
Yes, until, I believe it's July 2013.
July 1st of 2013, the state passed an edict because of the recession. People were saying they could not get their work done, and the state gave them allowance to go till July of 2013.
Well, if that's the case and you were building a house, wouldn't you be working on it? I haven't seen him doing anything to it, except for bringing stuff from his construction company, opening his garage and sticking it in this facility. He's using it for a storage house. I understand perfectly where you're coming from.
Hey, Terry, how about the grass clippings? Is that?
Grass clippings, compost piles, are those things allowed in a residential area that are being brought from other residents and dumped on this gentleman's property? I've got pictures of it.
All right, let him answer.
I can answer, she can answer. I only found out the complaint through an email while I was on vacation. I returned today at work at noon and had time to go there.
Okay. Will you give me a call when you do and let me know what the answer
No, I
is?
will not.
Can I ask why?
Because once I start an enforcement, it doesn't become public knowledge unless a citation is issued.
And since that would be public record, I could get a copy of that?
Only up until,
Once the investigation's over, yes.
after a citation is issued.
Which would be after the investigation.
If it leads to a citation, yes.
I want to read now a letter from one of the ladies here on the road. It was addressed to the mayor. It says, "Dear Honorable Mayor," I don't know how to pronounce your last name, Mayor.
Kabisky.
Kabisky. "As a resident and homeowner of Carnegie since 1985, I feel that the borough has been exceptional in resolving any problems I have had in the past, with the exception of George Zawilla. However, the one problem that has never resolved was the dumping of debris and building materials at 532 Harrison Street, owner George Zawilla. Due to Mr. Zawilla's I can't even talk now. Thank you. Of his property, I had to deal with rats, snakes, and especially groundhogs entering and destroying part of my foundation of my porch. The groundhogs were nesting between my porch and wall to my home and ate a tunnel between the two. I did contact Mr. Vincenti, I guess whom was the manager of Carnegie Borough at that time, with a problem stemming from Mr. Zawilla. He neglected his property, and not one thing was ever accomplished with any of these actions of Mr. Zawilla. Somehow Mr. Vincenti's hands had been tied. Like I wrote to Mr. Vincenti that Mr. George Zawilla also took away the beautiful trees which caused more noise from the parkway, and with all the dumping of material looked like a war zone. He has no regard for what his actions are doing to other people's property and safety. I hope that once and for all these issues can be resolved, and look forward to hearing from you." And she lists her phone number, which I will not announce. I will give the letter to the mayor. Thank you for your interest. Sincerely, Mary Lou Fink. If I may?
Yes. Actually, if you want, I'll hand it to our borough manager, and he can make copies of it. Thank you.
And I don't know if these other folks here from Harrison Street, if you don't mind, would like to say something as well, because something needs to be resolved. We've been dealing with this gentleman for a while with this dumping, and
Everybody's welcome to come up and speak, ma'am.
thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shannon Fox. I live on Harrison Street as well. I've lived there.
Us, we have followed through.
Okay, Pastor. Well, in our discussion, there's 3 ways you can take the property. You can buy it from Mrs. Dulick's heirs, which we have no idea where they are. So what we don't know, like you mentioned, the only copy of the will that was known was torn off, apparently. That's according to Mrs. Dulick's attorney. You can sheriff sale the property. We've discussed that.
Right, you did.
And the third part was the conservatorship, and that's where I said that we had talked to Mr. DeLoss, because we have not done one in this borough yet. It's new, it's a relatively new procedure where we could take the property over by condemnation, where either you could apply for a conservatorship yourself as the neighboring property, or the borough could do it. And when I went to Mr. DeLoss, we hadn't really decided whether or not the borough would be interested in doing that to sell it to you.
Are you aware of that, Mr. DeLoss?
I was aware that the conversation was that you were definitely interested in it, yes. We were aware of that.
And that we were to have a meeting, that was one of the things that we were to do.
I don't remember a meeting.
Yeah, because you were very explicit in letting me to know, because I would have no knowledge of not to even contact the mayor, because he had really nothing to do with it. If you all chose to invite him, you would, and if not, because it was up to the council. So I'm just telling you what you told to me. And that was when I was told that you were going to, because of Mr. DeLoss being new, and I said that I would definitely like to have that done.
And I know that I've told you the best way to go about it, short of making a deal with the Dulix, Mrs. Dulix,
was the sheriff's sale.
Would be the sheriff's sale.
And did you not say that if with this will that someone at that time would be able to come up and say?
Well, no. What I did say about the sheriff's sale, somebody could come and outbid you. That's where the problem would be. Once you take the property at the sheriff's sale, the will is totally irrelevant. I don't know about the situation with the conservatorship.
Right.
But once you take the property through the sheriff's sale, that's it. It's done. They can come back all they want. You bought it. It was advertised. That's why I think that would be the best procedure to go. When we talked, I was totally unaware of this other interest in.
I don't think that came up until just recently.
No, it just came up within like the last 2 weeks. This is why I mentioned it last week, and I guess the mayor brought it to your attention after.
Right, which I appreciated that he.
We've actually said to bring it to our attention.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with that.
And I was going to anyway, but you said it, so don't, yeah.
No, I know. I mean, I'm not saying that.
I guess my question is, what's it take? What's the bottom line here? What's this going to take to resolve?
Yes,
you need to
yeah, because that's what I was.
We're having a whole lot of discussion.
Let's
bring it to the whoever steps forward first and it takes the process is.
I don't even think that should be, because I have been waiting for you. So who steps first? At this point, I really feel that the property's been there, and all of a sudden there became an interest. I have a problem with that.
And your concern when we spoke was that with the cost of the sheriff's sale, that somebody could come in and outbid you.
Right, because I feel that the way that this happened really would be it not being something that was kept in a confidential manner.
Well, I mean, the sheriff's sale would be public. I mean,
it should be. But I'm saying that when you had mentioned the fact of an attorney being able, and my understanding was that there may be a recourse even after having purchased it, and then with it being supposedly on the list of being demolished. And that was the thing that you were to get back to.
Well, that's what you wanted. I mean, that's what, if you bought the property, that's what you want anyway, right?
The property?
The house for now?
Yeah. That was the thing. You said that it was on the list, and you would let me know when it would be torn down.
Is this on the list?
You had said that it was.
It's on the list, but it's not when we're moving forward, getting demolished right this period.
But you were to get back to me the same as to plan the meeting.
Okay, then I must have misunderstood that I was supposed to get back to you, other than if the borough decided whether to do the conservatorship. I still believe the best course of action for you to take would be the sheriff's sale. If you didn't want to do that, you could explore the conservatorship and whether the borough.
Well, is it going to be demolished?
Is to rehabilitate
the problem.
Building that she doesn't want to do.
Right, exactly. So the best course of action remains.
Well, even when that came up, there was not enough information. Now, is there something that you want to say, Mr.
No, I'm frustrated. I think if you wanted to get her to go to sheriff's sale, I think she needs to understand how to do that.
Yeah, and we can talk about that after the meeting.
I'm going to talk about it because we seem to not follow through with our conversations. I'm left with one idea, and and there's
The
another that
sheriff's
comes
sale
up.
process would be, you would put up a certain amount of money, pay the cost of taking the property to the sheriff's sale to the borough.
Mhm.
We would take the property, we would file the legal paperwork and go through it. Because the cost, there's a cost associated with taking it to the sheriff's sale. There are back taxes, so there are grounds to take the property over and take it to the sheriff's sale.
Well, that's what you had made me aware of, that was something that you all would probably be looking into, but what I'm saying, the, what is it, the conservatory?
Conservatorship.
Okay, now you're saying that the house would need to be rehabilitated.
The purpose of the conservatorship program is to rehabilitate dilapidated homes and have people move back into them and live there.
Mhm. Okay.
Which is not, I gather, what you're interested in. You're looking for a parking lot or a side yard or something for your
Well,
church?
that had been our definite desire, but I mean, if that's something, because when you take that action, it's something that the county now works with you, that you, don't have to pay, or how does that work?
No, it's more, the conservatorship program is more one of who's owning the property and who's responsible for it. It's not a program of forgiving taxes or things like that. There's not really any changes there. The issue with conservatorship is more one of someone owns a piece of property and they're not keeping it up, and so the borough forces the hand to take it over and fix it. And the borough can either do that themselves and pay a contractor to fix the property and then charge the owner for that amount of money. And the borough can sell the property.
And no one being able to know who this owner is. I mean, like I said, Mr. Lucas had mentioned that there was definitely a will, but no one knew where it was at or whatever.
That's what I was told by Mrs. Dooley's attorney. That there was a will, and the will was torn up by the daughter or something, so there's no will in existence. I don't know that firsthand. That's what I was told by the attorney.
Okay, well, I need to know something that's real so that we know what to do and what to,
Which is why we go back to the sheriff's sale being the way of accomplishing what you want best, which will be the complete total ownership of the property.
Okay, but what about, is it not going to be demolished at all, or it won't be this year? I heard where you talked about 2. Okay, so that isn't, but it is on the list to have demolished.
It's been on the demo list for some time.
Okay. Well, it couldn't have been at some time because she's just passed in 2 years. And we've been
2 years, I think it's been
requiring
on.
2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's organize a meeting even this week if you're open to it.
Oh, I'm definitely open.
All right, very good.
Okay, so that'll be something that I'll know before I leave.
We can talk before we leave here today. We'll set a time and
And
day.
that'll be excellent. I appreciate your help. Thank you very much.
Christy.
And I look for you to tell your people that you come to our men's fellowship.
Absolutely, it's
Yeah,
great.
like I said, let's just get all those things out here, and that's a good thing. Let's do that. Okay, very good. Since you hadn't, I thought I'd help you.
Thank you, Pastor.
Good evening, everyone. I just wanted to stop down tonight for 2 reasons. I wanted to take the opportunity to introduce myself to those members of council who may not know me. My name is Erin Tipping, and 2 weeks ago I was appointed as the library director of the Andrew Carnegie Free Library and Music Hall. Previous to that, I had been your children's librarian for 5 years. So I wanted to introduce myself and say that I am always available to help or partner or do anything with council that you might see fit to do with the library. And I also wanted to stop down because we're so thankful that you've agreed to support the Math Review program. I have some thank you notes here from some future participants. Can I give them to you?
Yes, you can. Thank you.
You're welcome. And I don't have anything else to say, but I just wanted to say thank you again for all of your support.
And thank you for your work.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Debbie Wigner from Beechwood Avenue. I just wanted to ask about the ramps that they put up for wheelchairs on the corners. I don't know, anyone else had a problem trying to push a wheelchair up that ramp. It's not easy, even when outside here. The curb is a little bit higher than the road. They even turn the wheelchair backwards. I've almost dumped one a couple times trying to get around.
The one's right outside the building here, ma'am?
Well, this is one, but the ones that I usually do are the ones over by St. Elizabeth Ann Church.
I'm sorry, over by where?
St. Elizabeth Ann Church.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if motorized ones might be different, but trying to pull one of those.
Well, no, yeah, it is a motorized, but I want to totally agree with you because the council will tell you, I have said the new ones that are slowly but surely going in, like the one when you cross to come over here on Jefferson Street, they're fabulous because there is no, I know what you're saying, there's a lip. It doesn't go right up, there's like this much of a lip.
And I keep telling
It's
her
a
to
bugger.
go backwards because it's going to go forward.
That's right.
And the other thing, I don't know what the difference is, but here there's nice little sort of slits in the ramp. Those red ones with the bumps, that's really hard to pull a wheelchair. I've tried to position the tires around those bumps because it's hard to do that. And I'm not the strongest person in the world, but anyway, that was my comment.
Somebody's idea of an improvement was those rubber bump mats.
And it's not a good thing, but trying to, if they could put some tar or something to make the curve part of it, even with the street, it'd be a whole lot easier to get something up.
Okay, thank you for that suggestion. Thank you. If there's no one else, we'll go around the table quickly here. Good and welfare, Councilman Sarcho.
Thank you, Mr. President. I just wanted to make everybody aware of a couple of things. One is there's a Staff Sergeant Griner 5K Memorial Run and Walk, July 29th at North Park. It starts at the boathouse, and you need to register there by 8 a.m. The story behind that is that a young fella, 8 years old, had started a program, a Yellow Ribbon program, sending donations over our troops overseas. So when Staff Sergeant Griner come home, he made friends with this young fella. But then after being discharged from the Army, the Staff Sergeant was killed in a motorcycle accident. And that's why they keep the program up and running under his name. Also, Sunday, August 12th, the William Dell and the Wee Jams are having a concert and car cruise at Deer Lakes Park in Russellton, Pennsylvania, and that supports the Marine Corps League. And here locally, where the Methodist Church is having a strawberry festival at the end of the month, and there'll be strawberry pies and all kinds of strawberry stuff, and they're putting flyers all over town, so there'll be plenty of information on that out there. And also next month, July 9th, Camp Cadet will start, and I'm excited to have that back. And as the pastor said, I do take part in the fellowship at the Baptist Church, and it's really uplifting. I mean, it gets me through month to month, and you know, just sharing good fellowship with them and a great breakfast, and it's just really, you know, you'd have to be there to take part in it to know just how uplifting it is. And that's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Catino.
The only thing I would like to say tonight, Mr. President, is that I had about 20 minutes to kill. I ordered a pizza Friday night, had about 20 minutes to kill. So I took a scenic drive around our town looking at a few things. And it's just amazing, honestly, when you open your eyes, what you can see on a Friday night driving around. And don't get me wrong, these are good things. I started on Main Street, went past Papa J's. Papa J's, packed. Everyone's hanging out, the garage doors open, people are hanging, pushing out onto the street. Nice, very good scene. Continue down to Adderweed. Adderweed has an event going on. People outside, walking around, busy around there. Go down to, swung around, went past Carmer Cultural Center. There's a line at Carmer Cultural Center, people wanting to go in to eat. I'm like, oh my goodness. Go back down the street, because it's 20 minutes to kill. I mean, I'm staying in Carnegie, obviously going around looking at things. I go past Bob's. Bob's is packed on a Friday night. Go around the back alley. Standard Ceramics has an event going on. Go past the fire department. The fire hall's rented. Friday night, it's amazing how many people on a Friday night were in Carnegie. Good times are coming back to this town. I hope you can all see that. And we're on the upswing at this point, so let's everyone get out there and take advantage of what we have, because it's a really great town. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Kobe.
Yes. I just wanted to real quickly, because it's hard to remember everything, Mike, piggyback a couple little things Mike said about the Methodist Church, their Strawberry Festival. They're also going to have some crafters there and, you know, things like that. So it does sound like it's really going to be a good time. They also, their farm stand is going to be opening this coming Wednesday. Starts this Wednesday, so for fresh fruits and vegetables and pierogies, noon to 6, and they will be having, they're going to try and get some crafters also down there. Another thing that's new at the public safety event on this Saturday is for the children. We're going to have face painting, and you know how kids like that. And I'm so glad we're having it at the start of summer last year. The first 2 years we had it in October, because there will be the bicycle helmets. You can come get a bicycle helmet for your kiddo, and also have them fingerprinted. God forbid if anything would ever happen to them, and we'll give you a DNA kit. Other than that, the thing I wanted to talk about was the Carnegie Children's Events Committee. We really have nothing coming up until Halloween. However, I'm putting together a fundraiser because we won't be having our booth at the festival this year. So we're going to be a little short on funds. And hopefully I'll have more information next month for you. But it's going to be a fun time. It's going to be very reasonable. So we're going to have a fundraiser. And I hope to see all of you there. The meeting next Monday, please come to it. And because you really can't, you know, complain if you don't come listen and hear what we have to say, and then maybe volunteer. And that's it. Oh, and everyone have a safe 4th of July, because we won't be back till after that. So we'll see you next time. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you,
President.
Councilman. Councilman Beers.
Nothing this evening.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Demko.
I would just like to congratulate all of our graduates. Here, and happy summer to everyone.
Thank you. Thank you very much. If that's it, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Is there a second?
Second.
Bill, you can remember to do this. But I figured it would be inappropriate.